Welcome back to the Smart Nonsense Podcast, where we talk about smart nonsense.
Nonsense better.
Same season today. Episode 2.
Yeah. Stoked for this season. The season of Ambling. And,
look a little
mumbling,
wet.
dude. I didn't realize till I started tuning into this season, because it's phenomenal, actually. We record and put it out 12 hours later. But I am mumbly mo, dude, and I don't like it one bit.
So far you're speaking with your chest. It's good.
Well, yeah. It's one of those where you like point out a grammar mistake in somebody else, and then you're like hoping to dear God that you don't make a grammar mistake yourself.
Do we need like a safe word if you start becoming mo? Mumbly mo?
Yeah, might need
Mo.
I don't know what that is.
Mo.
Did I just mow right there?
No,
Fuck,
I'm just saying I'll like do this. Like mo.
Here, Mo. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but yeah, mumbly and a lot of uptalk. Uptalk is not good. So we're working on it.
I went to a comedy set this past weekend, like on Friday, and it was actually a cool concept. It's called Don't Tell Comedy, where this is gonna make sense, but they do like secret shows. So it'll just be like you find out the day before where it is and who's performing. It'll be in like a random restaurant, random bar. This was in like a wedding venue. That's a lot of preamble for the woman who, she must work for Don't Tell Comedy or was organizing it. She came on before the host of the set of comedy. And so like she was really setting the intention for the room. And it was a lot of mumbly up talk. And I was like, it's important that the first person who comes out, luckily the host did a lot of good crowd work and it was good. But uptalk's bad. And if people don't know what that is, it's just like ending every sentence in a question mark.
Yeah. I
And
don't
it's
know
like,
when I started doing that. Probably during birth, but it's not good. You don't want that. You really don't.
my thing on the pod that I've noticed listening back to the season of Ambling, episode 2, is I always have the sniffles, and it drives me crazy. But I doesn't seem like I do today. I usually like go get lunch and I ride on my bike somewhere, and then I'm cold, and then we shoot this, and then I've just got like dribble coming out of my nose.
Oh.
And so when I'm listening, it's just Sniffly Sam.
Yeah, maybe I'm just used to Sniffly Sam. Mumbly Mo and Sniffly Sam, dude. Season 2.
Welcome back to the Smart Nonsense, dude. You want to talk about Naval?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Was just on, what was he on? Chris Williamson, Modern Wisdom. I've never listened to I've never listened to Modern Wisdom, but I listened to that because I wanted to listen to Naval, and I just listened to Chris Williamson on the All In podcast. They did one, like a panel. He's pretty good. I understand, I think, why a lot of people tune in and like him and listen to him.
Yeah,
Modern
I mean,
Wisdom.
he's good looking. He speaks well, and he takes it seriously. He was the one that was like, I am going to go pro in podcasting.
Okay.
So that's why he'd spend, 30, 40 G's on a podcast set. And
it was funny on
a bunch of interviews.
Easy. Yep. Oh, okay. So you almost went into Mumbly Mo, which was my fault, actually.
This might be you. I think if we were in person, there'd be less because I start hearing you talk and then I got to mumble because fucking bitch.
All right, we'll work on that. So, then we should probably talk about Sam Spar at some point if we want to get to that. But so Mumbly Mo, it was funny on the All In podcast to hear Colin and Samir come on and talk about how, like, if you're starting something, you want to keep costs and overhead as low as physically possible so you can do it for as long as possible. And then Chris Williamson comes on the panel right after and is like, he basically turned his podcast into a Hollywood movie with gaffers, lights, 5 camera setup. He's got a DP, a director of photography.
Yeah.
And then, the All In guys shoot on Zoom. So it's kind of funny to see the spectrum.
Well, I bet that radicalized you and all advice cancels out.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well,
I wasn't
pick any
thinking
avenue.
Yeah.
Do it.
And
Yeah.
so let's talk about Naval's advice, dude.
Oh.
Talk about
Well,
good more
I
amble?
had one little thing because my first million, they were in their live stream. They were talking about TikToks and like telling your story in a TikTok is one of the best skills to have. And they're like, yeah, some people are even spending like a full day making a TikTok. And it's just 30 seconds. I'm like, dude, like, I think it's so crazy. Just so many people think TikTok and it's like you shoot it in 30 seconds and it lasts 30 seconds. But like we literally spend a week on it. And it's still like the world hasn't caught up to that is a possibility for people to do because so few people do it. Point is, you can go on the 30-second spectrum or the 1 week spectrum and both can work.
That was great. And there was not a mumble in sight. And so great addition.
It's
Great
kind
addition.
of like when I'd go through the phase. I do it less so now, but like when I'm talking to someone and I'm like, don't have Asperger's. Don't have Asperger's. Don't have Asperger's. That's all that goes through my head. Now it's Dumply Numbly Mo. And I just mumbled Mumbly Mo. But that's fine, dude. Self-talk. We'll get it positive. What about Naval, dude? I'm here for Naval.
So, new season of the pod, Life of Ambling. You have recently a new lease on life, a new season of life, which is the season of yes man, as opposed to living a life of no. Where Life of No came from was all of the hours and hours and hours you and I spent with Naval in our ears post college. This is Naval Ravikant, tech philosopher extraordinaire. So, and Naval doesn't put like much new content into the world. Never goes on a podcast. Like I haven't in a while, but I used to like listen to his appearance on Joe Rogan like once a year, twice a year, because there's a lot of like great reminders in it. But this was the first 3 hours of Naval I've had in a while. And let me tell you, like going from kind of Life of No to the most recent, you may even feel this more acutely, but like the recent Life of Yes. I was listening to Naval. I felt like, so when we were listening to Naval after college and we'd like apply his thinking to everything and bring it to people, anyone we brought it to is just like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like that may be true, but super annoying.
Super fucking annoying.
I felt like that this time around. I was like, wow, like 22-year-old Henry Life of No Naval, super fucking annoying.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like there was good stuff in there. It was worth a listen, but I was like, man, this is a lot.
Well,
it's a lot.
Here's the
problem. It
problem.
Doesn't have to be that crazy.
What I realized is this isn't Naval's bad. I think we put a lot of this on Naval, and it's not his bad. Because listening to the podcast, he said like he's no man, like that's his thing. Like he just default knows to all weddings or events, and it's like an opt-in to anything, and like his wife's not allowed to opt him in unless she talks to him, and it's just like the life of no. He is no man, but he does say in this 3-hour podcast, he's like, hey, I'm just in the no phase. Early on, you want to be in the yes phase.
I caught that.
And for some reason, yeah, we didn't catch that when we should have been in the yes phase, which is like, 20 to 25 at least, probably like all of your 20s, you can really be in yes phase. But he's like a 50-year-old dude. So the fact that he's like already successful, already found a wife, already found a business partner, like he's just already got it all made. And now he can pivot from yes to no. But you can't start and no. It's just not how it works. And we fucked up. We got the sequence wrong. But that's okay. That's okay.
So did you listen to the whole podcast? Or
yeah.
Were you did? Okay.
Last night till 5 a.m. Fucking.
Oh. I was just listening to on the All In one, like they were asking Brian Johnson, like, what is the one most important 80-20? He's just like, good sleep, good consistent sleep.
Actually, Naval was saying that in the podcast.
And here you are.
Well,
listening until 5 a.m.
But yeah, no. Well, it's not like a choice, dude. I guess I could not use my phone. I do. When I pick up a book, I fall asleep immediately, so I could just do that.
That's what Brian Johnson said to do.
Yeah.
Pick up a book, have a wind down routine.
But like, also, it's so nice to just like. It's a great time to learn.
There's some things about Naval late at the night we probably shouldn't talk about ever.
No.
And I'll leave it at that.
Dude.
Wow. And I'll leave it at that.
Wow, the Tortugas. Yeah.
So you made it all the way through the pod, and I think 4 years ago you would have eaten that up and applied it to every aspect of your life. What was your kind of takeaway this time? Yes, man.
Yes, man's good. Well, this, I don't know if it's directly related or not. This is kind of more of a yes man thing. Just something I want to get off my back. There's a Paul Graham essay, Keep Your Identity Small. I actually think you want to keep it big.
Okay. Dude, sometimes, dude, I just never know. I thought you were going to double down on small, because we've talked about that in the past, but you're Isosceles, so
right.
that big really, that was a surprise.
I just think like identity is small, and I think maybe Naval talked about this, that's why it came up to some degree, but like, I think he was talking about like maybe introverted, extroverted.
Well, he's saying be careful with labels. Be careful with the identity you take on, because a lot of the time it's a choice. Right. And when you take on that identity, you start seeing the world through that lens.
Right.
Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's not such a good thing. And just be mindful of that.
Right. And so I think can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. I think that's a tool, and you want to wield it. You can wield it for good is my point. It's kind of like different biases that you have. One, you can just like avoid them. Say like sunk cost fallacy. It's like, oh, you don't want to get sunk cost if you're in something like don't be persuaded or biased based on how much you've invested in it, whatever. Just do whatever you're supposed to do right there. Terrible summary of sunk cost bias. But hold on, let me get something concrete. So sunk cost bias, you spent a lot on something. Fuck, give me an example. Okay. You just bought a house, and all right, you're gonna renovate it.
I'll give you one.
Okay.
So you buy a $25 movie ticket, and you drive to the theater. You get there, you buy your popcorn, but the entire time you're kind of thinking like, I don't actually care. I don't want to see this movie. Let's say you bought. Usually you'd have bought the tickets like a month ago, so you just got them, and you're like, well, I'll just go to the movie. But then you're thinking like, yeah, it's a bad movie. I don't want to see it. All my friends hated it. The ticket, the $20 you spent, is a sunk cost. It's gone. It's done. The cost is sunk. You should not then also incur the cost of going to see a bad movie if you don't want to.
Right.
So the sunk cost is the ticket. You already spent the money. It's gone. You should not take on more cost.
Yeah. And Naval's really good at this. He'll be at like a party and he's like, this is lame, and just go home.
Which is like, but that's also why like his wife is not allowed to sign him up for anything, which is just at the extreme is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like that is your life partner. And his wife has, if people ask if Naval can come, she has to tell them like, I don't make decisions for him. You have to ask him directly. And it's like, dude, just go, dude.
He is very publicly, I'm selfish, and that's a good thing because everyone's selfish. I just acknowledge it. So point with the sunk cost is like it can be bad or it can be good. Like you can use the sunk cost bias that we all have to like make a sick Duolingo streak. And it's like, oh, I want to learn Spanish. I have like a 30-day streak. I want to keep it to 31 and 60 and fucking 120. So you keep doing it because you want to keep the streak alive. Fuck, dude. Hold on. I had one or two more. I had one more. I don't even. Well, identity. Fuck. It doesn't even matter. Sunk cost stuff for good. Identity. Point is, if you use it for good, what is the point?
You said you want to have a big identity, and identity.
Big identity. Yeah. Okay. So you're just you're yes man, dude. You're yes man. That is your entire identity. I think that like shapes you for good. So anytime a decision comes up, it's like, oh, I'm yes man. Like that is just the thing. Um, versus you can be no man, which is like Naval, and then like maybe that's good for him, but like depends what phase of life you're in. But I think it can be really good, or like maybe I talked about it before, but like the best way to quit smoking cigarettes, for example, is to just be like, I'm just not a smoker, and that is your identity, is not a smoker. Any addiction, just assuming the identity. So I think it can be really used for good. Did Naval talk about that in the podcast? I don't really remember. But here's my takeaway. From Pod. I do like how he's unapologetic. He's just like, this is who I am. Either accept me or not. And I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay. It ends there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think he talked about dating stuff too. Okay. Did you have anything though? I'll regroup my thoughts.
No, we just both texted each other like it's so hardcore.
Oh,
and
he's
I
really
think
intense.
4 years ago we would have been texting each other all these little quips and adages and like all these, oh, let's do this, let's try this. Oh, why do we say yes to this? Oh, we need to apply this. And this time for me, it was like, it was a fun listen. I like hearing that you can live life that way. That is a way. And then being like, but I don't want to do that or that this time around.
Yeah. I think we just did that a lot more generally too, because we were like figuring things out. So like, oh, this is a new model that I haven't heard on how to live.
Well, right, and coming through, growing up, living in a house, going to college, you just kind of absorb the model you're given. And when we both left college, it was like, and we got into Tech Twitter, we got into all these podcasts. It was like, oh, there are other models,
right?
There are other frameworks. My parents' belief about like finances, politics, work, that's not the only way. It's the only way I knew.
Yeah.
But it's not the only way.
Yeah, I think that's the best part of the internet, is just seeing all these different models for how to live. It's kind of like the Derek Sivers book that we bought by accident. It's like 40 ways to live or something, or I forget what it is. But we thought it was like, here's the prescriptive way to live, but it was actually like 40 independent ways, and you could just like pick your own destiny, and any of them can be
what was
cool.
so funny is I sent you a page from that book, and I was like, dude, read this short essay. It's amazing. It says this, this, and this. And you read it, and you were like, it doesn't say any of those things. It said this, this, and this. And I was like, huh? And this was after I already bought 50 of the books, because I thought it was the best book ever to give to people. I only realized after you said that the entire book is just confirmation bias. You just read whatever you want to read, and like that is the point of the book. That shattered my world, dude. I mean, yeah, it's called How to Live.
Yeah.
Still have all 50 copies. Cost me like $400.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. It's like, one is like, just try and maximize your wealth, get as rich as possible. And the next one's like, just ignore it all. Money is useless. And it's like, just pick whichever one you want and just do that, and you'll be happy.
We should actually go back and read it now, like firmly believing all advice cancels out and it's stupid, and you just end up taking on what you need
copy
to hear. Dude, they're literally up on my bookshelf in a box.
Yeah.
So many of them.
Let's send them to the listeners too. What Naval, hold on, let me think, because I texted my buddy about some Naval relationship thing, but do I remember what he was talking about? Not really. He did just like this stuff he's talked about before.
He was talking about like, if you ask somebody, at least the one I heard is like, they're talking about like whether or not you should stay with someone, and if like you start to create like a laundry list of like, well, we both like tea and we like to go to walks at the park. He's like, no, that's not it. And oftentimes there's not a reason. But he gave a lot of good ones. Like, I like this person's soul. I like spending time with this person. This person makes me feel brighter. I look forward to coming home to this person. It's like all these intangible things. That's what I remember.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Okay, this is good. Triggering a lot of stuff. Should probably take notes as I listen to these. But yeah, I think that was interesting, because it's like, you're not used to tech people who are very like, I am going off the resume and these checklist items, and if they match to 94% or above, I'm going to marry this person. But he's more like, it is like unity. It is like, it should make you feel whole. And it's like, oh,
It should unlock a part of your soul that you didn't know you had before,
yeah,
kind of stuff.
just very cool. Like, I think he started. Was he talking? I don't know. All this stuff mixes together, but he was talking about like gut and stuff, and just like gut spin. Oh, there's like brain decisions and gut decisions. Like your brain is good for like a new novel problem you haven't experienced before and like thinking through it. But like who you should be with is just like a gut decision. It's been around for a while. So like generally you should default to gut.
Right, because your gut is it's either like coded in your DNA, your genes, or it's developed through like experience.
Yeah. So that was cool. And he was also just like, if it kind of the Derek Sivers thing again, like hell yes or no, like anytime you can't decide, like it's a clear no. And you should really, really ramp up your like the amount of people you see. This was actually the reason why I delayed my SF to New York, like leaving SF, was because I met with this woman who was really cool. Like she's a power couple with her husband. She made Rupa Health, which sold and is pretty successful. But she was like, yeah, I turned 27 and I realized relationships, like you're basically just with all your friends playing musical chairs, and like when the music stops at 27, you just marry whoever you're with, basically, and you take a seat. She's like, I didn't want that. So she took it super seriously and was like, I'm going to go on 100 dates or whatever. And just like, by the end of the 100, I'll know who it is. Turns out, I think it was the first person she met that she ended up marrying. And it's like,
That's funny.
It's just ironic. But
what's funny about that is like you can be, there's that quote like, why are smart people so bad at love? And it's because the punchline is like, because love is illogical. It's funny that she had that like very rational, I'm going to go into this 100-person search. I'm going to go on 100 dates. It's kind of like that secretary problem. I'm going to search for 100. And then after I get through a third of those, the next best one is who I'm going to choose. Yeah. So she had like this rational path she's going to go down. And then the first, it's like,
yeah. And she said she knew immediately too. But I think it's like good to like kind of time box, like, hey, I'm going to search 100 and one of them is going to be my husband. And it just happened to be the first. So it's cool. And it was actually interesting. This comes from Modern Relationships Podcast. Hey, going back to relationships podcast, all we talk about. He took a totally different route, her husband, that is, where he's just like a go with the flow. Like, hey, if I'm single when I'm 50, like that's just how the dice fucking rolled. I don't know. And it turns out he met her and it's great. Kind of like free ride off her. But it was like the perfect midwit meme of she takes it like super genius seriously and he takes it like super lax, and it works out. But I think a lot of type A people would go on the genius side of do 100 dates method. So that was just, yeah, that was cool. I like that Naval, other Naval stuff. I don't know. What else do you talk about?
Season of Ambling, dude. This is good.
Well, yeah, okay. I can't remember. You got to kind of like trigger Naval things because
I have an Isosceles for you.
Oh, do you?
Which is kind of a Naval. Yeah, actually, this is a Naval thing.
Oh,
so
I got an Isosceles too.
We'll end with 2 Isosceleses. For the new listeners, which there are none, that is when you flip flop your opinion because you're an Isosceles triangle, which I believe has what, 2 sides that are
they're the same, so it doesn't even make sense, to be honest.
But the word sounds kind of right. And then we turn that into a Greek god, which is Isosceles. Oh yeah, so post college, right? Naval is like, you have to set an aspirationally high hourly rate for your time. I suggest $5,000 per hour, which is crazy. I know, but I like the thought experiment. Mm-hmm. And so we did that and started eliminating things from our life. One of those things we eliminated very quickly was going to the grocery store and shopping for food. For those that don't know, food is one of the core pillars of life, of being alive, really. And so every week we'd go on Amazon and we go boop, 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 click a couple buttons, and 2 hours later it would show up in these brown bags at your door. Here's your slop. I thought that was awesome. And I couldn't, for the life of me, figure out why my parents still went to the grocery store, and I always got on them about this. I was like, what a waste of time. How long does it take you? Why are you making these decisions? Dude, last weekend, girlfriend, my lovely girlfriend, who's very good at a lot of things, she spent a lot of time on Reddit finding the best grocery stores in the area. Best produce, best cuts of meat, just the best of the
So you got a
best.
pay raise, huh?
What do you mean? Oh, yeah. Yeah, she did get a promotion. No, it's a cheaper place, but it's a better place.
Okay.
And so I got nothing to do on Sunday, so I go to the grocery store with her. We spend some time together. Dude. Whoops, dude. Whoops on grocery stores. They rock. They rock. Best Sunday of my life. I'm getting like, I'm seeing produce I've never seen in my life. Ooh, let's try that. I bought a ribeye. Can't tell you the last time I bought a ribeye. It looks so good. Bought some easy. Did let it sit for a week, flipped it over, and it was blue. So did not get to eat the ribeye, but I will go back. Easy blue chew. Cuts of chicken. We got some tamales. We got some salsa mixteca, which is, I learned, my favorite kind of salsa. Nice creamy orange salsa. Yeah, dude, just fucking screw ordering groceries. That's so stupid. Yeah. I'm gonna go to the store and pick out some beautiful fresh stuff myself. And it's kind of meditative. Like, get off my phone. Get off of Amazon. Go to the store. Fuck.
Yeah, one thing I realized, because I've probably spent 80 to 90% of my life single. So when I do get in relationships, don't mean to bring everything back, but like I make novel observations because it's new to me. And like one of those is, I'm like, wow, having a girlfriend is like 80% just doing chores together. Like you just like going out shopping, buying groceries, fucking walking. Like, I don't know. You just like do random stupid things together. But it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like it's just like a nice little easy activity that you can both do. Or go solo, which I do. I really like going to grocery stores. Couple reasons. One, same thing.
Sorry, because you went to a different Isosceles, which is you stopped ordering. You don't have any groceries.
I know. I haven't actually bought groceries in a long.
So like, there's Chicago, nothing in your house, which for our OG listeners resulted in you eating a lot of your roommate's food late at night when you had the money.
I stopped, actually. I really stopped, dude. Oh my god, when they caught me fucking shaving his cheese, like getting the minimum sliver where he couldn't notice. But dude. Fuck, dude. The problem was I took out all of his blocks of cheese so I could take the minimum sliver off of each so I could like maximize my cheese. But she came out at night and I had all the blocks of cheese and I was shaving all of them to make fucking cheesy rice.
Cheesy rice. Yes. He was shaving cheese on the rice.
So I'm coming around to buy my own groceries.
Hang on. So she comes out, right? And she asks you,
dude,
what are you
No. Well, one, I had my AirPods in. So I didn't hear her until I saw her, and I fucking jump scared, dude, because I got a knife in my hand. I'm shaving cheese, and it's their cheese. No fucking warning. So I panicked, dude. And then what happened? Say? I forget what she said. It was more like,
didn't
she
say
came
like,
out and I panicked. It's a lot of
cheese or something.
And I'm just like, I went to shove it back in the fridge and pretend. And I'm like, making cheesy rice. I don't know.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, you're like, well, yeah, I'm making cheesy rice.
Right, and then her boyfriend, who also lives with us, like for the next 2 days, like he just called me cheesy rice. And it was just like, oh, I'm making cheesy rice, dude, because he knows it's just cheese. But all right, I want to avoid that, so I don't buy groceries, but like, I'm interested in grocery stores, and so when I do go to them, I always go and I want to buy something novel, and so I got a spiked, no, was it spiked? I got a horned melon when I was in SF. Yeah. Terrible, absolutely god awful. Just fucking cut me, and it tasted like the worst thing ever. But like, I like trying things, and I do think about, there's some like Soviet guy who said the most surprising thing was when he came to America and the grocery stores were just full of infinite food. He's like, dude, yeah, it was the greatest thing on earth. I've never seen anything like it. So I kind of channel that Soviet mentality when I go out.
No, so do I. Like the abundance having it, being in our shoes, like having traveled enough and seeing the options in other countries, especially developing countries, like it is insane the level of abundance we have in our grocery stores. Anything you could ever want out of season from across the world that's not that expensive is just there all the time.
Yeah. Another
All
thing
right.
I realized, so not doing grocery stores. Also, I got this bike right next to me. I don't think you can see it in frame, but I realized I don't walk. I get 0 steps in because the bike is in my office and in my apartment, and I get on it and I ride to the elevator, and it's just I never walk.
Take
So I'm
out how many
always
steps do you have right now? Like,
I
let's
don't think
see.
it counts. Do I have to turn it on to
Dude,
count?
no, go to health. Better not be in like the hundreds, dude.
Dude, I
Let's see where I'm
share
at.
my data with
It's
Apple.
330. I'm at 7,300,
I'm at
7,200.
500.
500?
Yeah.
Dude,
At
how are you going to get
5 p.m. 500.
Dude, that's like bedroom to kitchen like 4 times.
Yeah. I
Right,
walk 500 steps a day.
don't you take oh my god. Cuz so
If
you
you
get
want,
on your bike and you like ride it down your apartment hallway, right? You literally are Jabba the Hutt. You're trying to make fun of my
I know.
brother. You just cart everywhere.
Yeah, I cart
What were your
everywhere.
steps yesterday? What was your total from yesterday?
Well, it might be getting skewed because I went to SF and stuff. I don't know.
No, not yesterday you didn't.
Oh,
Click on the bar from yesterday. Go to week.
oh, yesterday was 750.
Dude, I know you play hockey every night, which also is
I
like
didn't watch.
gliding and cardio, but
Yeah.
like you got to get those numbers up, pop.
Right. I think it's supposed to be 10,000. So I'm off by a sig figure too. That's the
Whoa.
point. Is I'm just riding around. Yeah. Now it's probably clear. I literally just ride my bike everywhere. I don't physically step.
Wait, one more. Sorry, one more. Toggle to 6 months at the top. And what's your daily average?
Oh, this is better. This
Well,
is
summer.
wow. Hold on. Why is this so good? Hold on, I had
Mine's
a giant
9,000.
spike though. That's kind of, dude. What? Oh, that was SF. I had like 12,000 a day.
Yeah.
It's I'm in the thousand. I'm like 3,000 or something.
That's low, pop.
Yeah.
That's low.
But yeah, so my only exercise would be playing hockey. Granted, I play like a game or two a night, and that's
Yeah.
not factored in, obviously. So point is, I want to work on steps, and I think I got the bike, which is sick, but it means I'm always cooking 30 miles an hour. I don't interact with people. I go from house to closet to rink, and that's my life. That fucking Bermuda Triangle right there.
Is that your Isosceles?
That's not my isosceles. This is a quick isosceles. Well, so I'm like anti people working on their body and like getting like anything like filler or like fake anything. Like it just feels wrong, and I'm like, just accept your body for the way it is. But I don't know. The other day I realized it's kind of a spectrum because I looked at my smile. I'm like, my smile is pretty nice. And I'm like, why is it nice? Oh, because I had braces as a kid. I'm like, oh, well, I kind of operate on my body because otherwise I'd be Bucktooth Willie. It's like, I'm not Bucktooth Willie. It's because I was operated on. So I'm like, oh, I should be probably more open-minded about that.
Yeah, you got pretty privilege.
Well, but it wasn't. It was because I operate on myself.
No, but you're pretty for other reasons too. A lot of people are dealt worse cards.
Yeah.
Gardeloo!
Wow, dude.
Bucktooth Willie?